the healer, began in the lumberjacks' camp, where we had arrived at the end of the first episode to find Lena Sawbones, the healer at the camp, looking after a woman whose name I forget. Actually, talking of my detailed recaps, who'd been bitten by a strange creature that, unbeknownst to us, actually, Brother Estebar had a glimpse of in the forest the night that we camped, with antlers. And so Hergest persuaded Sir Eldred and some of the loggers who could use bows to come out and look for this thing at the site where it had attacked, because he has decided that only with its blood, hair, and ideally bones could he treat the ailment of the woman who'd been bitten. And we went out and we got attacked by it in the dusk, in the failing light in the forest. And it jumped Eldred and bit him. And we drove it off because I think Eldred hit it with his sword quite powerfully, and Hergest hit it with his staff, and it backed away. And it backed away in a really weird kind of teleporty fashion back into the trees. And meanwhile, the lumberjacks had done a runner on us. They had failed their morale check, and they were running as fast as they could back towards the camp. And Hergest helped Eldred back to the camp, and he was already infected with whatever madness the bite of this creature carries. And that night, then, Hergest made his plans, because he had some blood and some hair on Eldred's sword, if not on the end of his staff, maybe. And he made plans to try some hedge witchery, some hedge magic, to heal them both now, the lumberjack woman and Eldred. And this took all night, with a gathering of some herbs by Estebar in the forest, some bark of a tree against which the stag of the local deer herd rubs himself, and in the morning, the treatment was done, but instead of ridding us of this curse, Hergest actually sort of shared it out a bit, and made Eldred and the woman capable of getting up and being normal, but they both had heightened appetites, and he had also acquired this unnatural hunger. And all of them are somewhat fatigued, as if they've been ill. And so he decided that in order to take this healing any further, he would need a local witch or a local spellcaster who might have knowledge of this monster. And he came up, can't remember who told him, but he came up with the name of a woman called Kalg, who is a witch who's currently held in the Prison of Mon. He left Estebar to make sure that Eldred and the woman didn't, suffer a relapse. And he travelled off alone in the hope of finding Kalg and a solution to this problem, a final cure, and a way to destroy the beast.
Yeah, that's my question. You're looking for a cure and help to kill. That was the thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's got to be. I think it's got to be killed, right? Because otherwise, it's going to. It's got to be maybe not killed, but driven away or controlled. Oh yes, Lucia Twig Thorn. She's the one who was bitten. Yeah. It's got to be either destroyed or in some way placated, or maybe Cal could be able to tell me the cause of this this abomination, what brought it into being, or something. But also, obviously, the malady's got to be cured.
Yeah, totally, and and it makes sense because this is all within like a day's travel. Like you're really only like a day and a day plus, a bit from Felstead Monastery. Prison of Mon is only about like probably 10 miles northwest of you. So yeah, this thing from it appears to have the ability to wind walk, even though you probably don't know what that means. Well,
the antler creature. Well, yeah, we sort of saw it wind walk. It walked, it kind of warped backwards, didn't it, away from us? So I guess if that's wind walking, then that's what we saw.
Yeah, and it just to remind, because also for our listening audience, it wind walking apparently has a tinge of cool air just before it appears.
Oh yes, that was the first sign that something was up. Yeah.
And poof,
so I had already started my journey. I think I'd grabbed my pack and my herbalist kit and set out, probably with the merest provisions, like enough to eat lightly for a couple of days, and just headed to the prison of Mon, knowing no more about the place than this witch named Kalg can be found there.
Are you sure you brought low provisions, seeing as how you are constantly hungry now?
Well, it feels like the merest of provisions, I think. Yeah.
So normal rations, the normal amount of rations.
Well, I guess he wouldn't have thought about it so much, but yeah, I don't want it to overtake me. The hunger. Yeah, I mean,
cool.
I think Hergest would be fairly confident that he could keep this under control, having gone through all of the healing process. But he's a sort of as we established, he's a sort of a confident, somewhat arrogant old man who thinks that he knows what's going on. And also I grabbed some silver coin with the thought that I might have to bribe someone to let Kalg go, or to be able to talk to Kalg. So I have 9 silver coins in my purse.
9 silver. Hilariously, actually roll me a d6. Let's see this. Yeah, you're doing
6.
Well. It would seem that your hunger is under control. Way to go. Way to go, confidence. Irrational confidence for the win.
Hergest will not pass up the chance to supplement his supplies from the trail,
Hilariously, I don't know what it is with this game and this coast, but you're when you let out, there's severe wind again. Who knew? So
here we are. I mean, I'm amongst the trees, right? So
yeah. So it's not as bad as like if you were on the coast, because it's definitely coming off the coast. But that also makes sense, right? Like living on the coast, gonna have some wind. It's just like New Mexico. It's crazy.
And it's the autumn.
Just like here as well. So yeah, it's whistling through the trees. I assume you probably would have wanted to take off in the morning. Was that the idea?
I think I did. I think we established that I had a bit of a rest because I'd been up all night trying the healing.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think I had a bit of a rest. I think I would probably have set off about midday. In fact.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because you're right. Because you had sent what's his name?
Estebar.
Estebar out for some
Yeah.
herbs. Yeah. Or herbs, as you know, my friends in the UK and
Yes.
Wales would say.
I think actually what we settled on was the bark of a tree that a stag had used as a rubbing post.
Yeah. And it worked well enough, right? Like, it brought them down and made you, and you took on a bit of their pain. Maybe that was the bargain, right? Like, so clearly didn't work to, I mean, it worked to a bit of satisfaction. At least, it, settled them down, placated them. And you took on a little bit of their stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun.
We've established that Hergest is kind of new to the magical side of healing anyway, and so he doesn't. I guess he trusts it a bit less now. He'll be super cautious in the future.
Yeah, I mean, is it new to coming to this to the southern coast? Is it like because the Starwood Forest, which you're in, is pretty old. It's old growth forest and like does have a creepiness to it, right? Like you'd probably heard some rumors about, right, like weird stuff, and clearly it turns out to be fact because you've experienced it.
I think
is it more of a magical place?
I think we talked a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, obviously with this creature, but I think we talked a little bit about it last time that
Mm-hmm.
herbalism and medicine has this foundation in sort of magical seeming stuff which generally isn't used or generally isn't approached, and as soon as Hergest found himself in this situation with this weird creature and the bites and this malady, he could draw on all that stuff, but it's generally not used anymore where he lives, where he has traveled. So I think it's more like a circumstantial thing.
Yeah, and I think we talked about like passages from books you've read. When you think about them again, they came out differently, and you're like, oh, that like almost like the magic was hidden in proper text, which makes sense to you probably because, magic use is probably not like, like the official stance is probably like, I don't know, man, it's pretty lame. Like, right, like, or it's frowned upon in a general sense.
It may be that very few people have the talent or have done the studies to make it work.
Yeah,
but
I think that's right.
Hergest is old and well traveled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and well read. So I think that's cool. Like that's a cool way to bring the magic into the character. I think that's super fun. Okay.
So do I see this place from a long way away? Is it a big building?
No. So I actually even have a picture. Where the hell is it? Not that one. Boink, boink, boink. Assets, cool. Oh, you know what? I think it's right here. Nope, that's not it. I'm sure I put it in here. Where the hell is it? Images. What did I call this? Nope. Oh, it's not here. I'm trying to run a classy.
What did you use to generate the map, right?
That map is Perilous Shores by Waterboy, which is absolutely my favorite. It's auto-generated, right? Like he just has generators that do maps, and I have specific colors that I like, so you can import your settings and colors. I just like the way that I'm not a huge fan of building maps. But I just really liked that. Here's Southern Coast. Cool. I'll pull this over here. Come on, thing. Do the other thing. You want to see Felstead Monastery? Isn't that nice? Here you go. Prison of Mon is it's like kind of hidden into sorry. No, really hit return. There's Prison of Mon.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like built into mountains. Right. So you're headed kind of like, and it's kind of secluded. So I'm not exactly, there's probably a light path that they told you to take, right? So that's interesting. But like, let's not have you roll for getting lost, because it's not that far. Like, I think there would be a normal path. But yes, I really liked. I'm sorry, I'm a fan of AI imagery for games. I think that's pretty cool. It's helpful.
Yeah, that's a pretty daunting looking place.
Yeah, so it looks cool. It also happens to be the image the image for this game on FKR Lounge, which is fun. Popped that out and I really liked it. I think I had showed you the Felstead monastery.
No, I hadn't seen that. I hadn't seen that picture before. No.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like. I don't know. I like images, so like I like to have a little bit of a vibe because it helps me make the game as well. So I figured,
yeah,
you would probably like it too. It just gives you a little vibe. That's a good one. Yeah, I like the
cool.
Creepy prison. Yeah, so it's a prison like you would have, like while you were packing up and shit, they probably would have told you a little bit about it, right? Like I'm sure it is known quite well to the monastery, right? Like they have they're connected in certain ways, like maybe nobody. I don't know that Estebar would know specifically, but he's like, right, like he would know, like usually the people that go there come through the monastery because that's the port, right? Like, and so there would be a path to that as well. So, right, like, but it's it being a prison, probably not well traveled, right? Like, so there's probably like, head to the yada yada, take the path to the thing. Don't turn right there, stay towards the crook in the mountain and head right for that. And then we, shit like that. Right.
So this is a prison maintained by a distant lord or a distant king.
Yeah. So this is a weird one. They're like, right. Like, so nobody from the monastery that like Estebar would not go there, right? Like no one's letting him go there. Right. Cause it's, he would have, would you have asked him? Would you, I mean, you probably would have, right? Like, I doubt you.
No, I don't think, I think one of the reasons that Hergest set out on his own was because this is a daunting place, and he probably doesn't want Estebar to meet this witch Kalg, right?
Right, totally. But I mean, would you have asked him like, what's the deal with it or anything like that?
No, I didn't. No, again, I didn't ask him. All I knew about it was this witch Kalg was there, and it's called the Prison of Mon, I think. I guess I know it by dark reputation, but I don't feel like
you would have gotten.
I don't feel like Hergest would have done extensive research.
Yeah, okay. But you would have definitely gotten the vibe that none of these people want to go there. Like none of them have been there.
Yeah.
They know where it is. Like, they might not give you hugely detailed stuff, but they right. Like there would be some amount of path, because right. Like, probably less tread actually to the loggers camp, but the loggers would know exactly where like how to get out of the forest, yada yada yada, and follow towards the mountains, that sort of thing. So I think there's enough of landmarks seeing as it is in the mountains, so you would see the mountains. Like, but it might take you a while to like trudge around and find the entrance. Like in the picture, I envisioned it like kind of, hidden away in like some like little, whatever you want to call that, not a valley, but like, I don't know what you would call that. Like,
I wonder if I've got like a with Hedge Wizard, whether I've got like a cheap trick, like a dowsing. I'll just douse the direction, like maybe we see Hergest using a little one of his little lucky charms or something, like a dowsing pendulum to find the way because it's hidden.
Mm-hmm. So I bet like I kind of like the idea of might you have like maybe there's some sort of trick with like a coin that you can like spin, like you stop on a rock and you kind of flick a coin to spin it and see kind of which way it's headed, and maybe you can find north or something. There's probably some like sort of thing like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, something that's probably part of his. I mentioned that in his herbalist kit, he's got these lucky charms and little tokens. He's probably got something on could be an old a kind of a blackened brass coin on a string that he allows to swing like a pendulum, like a dowsing,
cool. Yeah,
like a dowsing pendulum.
Sure. Yeah, cool. And it is. Once you're out of the forest, and like at a certain point, you're going to see the mountains, right? Like, so you'll have a landmark, and that's what they would have told you, right? Like, it's head towards.
Well, I mean, I think finding the right path or something that's not hidden, that's not magically hidden. It shouldn't be, it's a cheap trick, right? But
totally. I think that's cool.
Gives him a higher percentage of finding a place.
Right. It probably is just like true north kind of thing. Almost. It's like a compass. Is that what you're saying? Or are you saying like, no, I'm just curious.
No, he's genuinely dowsing like dowsers douse, like a dowser will douse for water or to find out which way to go. He's genuinely dowsing, but it's a very minor magic, like a cheap trick.
Yeah, cool. I like that. Cool. Yeah, and it's only a few hours away, so we can just cut to the chase, right? Like it probably did take you a little extra long to find like the way in, the path in once you're here. You're like kind of like traversing the mountains, and there's probably you're like, well, there's really scant tracks, but like I see them. Let's try this way. And maybe you hit a dead end and you have to kind of like find it, but you eventually find it. And I'm going to say it's like the picture, like, yeah, it was like, it's like a crack, right? That like a small, probably the whole reason it's here. It's because it's kind of hidden and out of harm's way. But you eventually find it. And you approach, and maybe you're looking right at you're looking at it like just like you were looking at the picture.
Yep. Okay.
Can
I see any signs of life?
Yeah. No, you don't. And it seems like, so for our listening audience, we're looking through basically a castle that looks kind of like almost like partially carved out of the mountains. I'm sure they used the stone from the mountain, that sort of thing. To the right is looks like it used to be used for something else, and that stairway is all busted up. The stairway to your left looks like the main entrance.
No signs of life at all, like no columns of smoke or sounds or anything.
Nope.
Wow. And it's got to be the end of the day now, right? It's got to be right at the end of the day.
Yeah, I would say it's starting to get dark.
No signs of life. Um, okay, I go up the main stairs.
Cool. Yeah, you creak up the stairs. Are you? And you're probably like, hello. Like you get to the top of
No,
the stairs.
no, I'm definitely not. I am definitely not doing that.
Okay, what are you doing?
I'm definitely not calling out hello. I'm going to take my herbalist pack off the end of my staff, and I'm going to have my staff at the ready to defend myself. And I'm just going to approach that arched entranceway very cautiously.
Cool. Yeah, you get to a point where you're like, you can't see anything, and you're poking your head in, just like really quietly. Is that that's the idea?
Is it really dark in there? Pitch black inside.
It is. So if you're like, you take your eye and just kind of like peek your head silently, you see inside it, it's super dark, but there is a really dull, faint, like amber glow. It looks like there's possibly multiple lights, or maybe a reflection of lights in there.
Okay. Well, yeah, I shall step inside and allow my eyes to adjust
Cool. Yeah.
without going any further. I'll just go
Yeah.
in and allow my eyes to adjust.
Yeah. So you're like right at the foot of the door of the archway. And it's a long archway. Looks like you can't really see the end of the hallway, but you do start seeing some creepy shit. It's like, what it looks like is possibly robed figures standing at attention almost. They don't seem to be moving, but it seems like they're all wearing like it's hard to see what it is until your eyes adjust. The ones closest to you, you start seeing that it's like an amber necklace. You might even be able to make out a rune because it has like an amber glow to it, and that's kind of lighting up the room. But you can see there's, I don't know, maybe a dozen or so on each side of the hallway, like a gauntlet of these weird figures.
Yeah. Okay. So I think Hergest walks to within a staff's range of the first one of these figures, and assuming that they are guards, he says, with a stutter, he says, "You there? Who's in charge? Who runs this place?"
And you see them moving, but they don't say anything.
Yeah. Well, how do they move? Towards me, or?
No, just you can see that they are living, but they seem kind of like wraith-like. They're a little ethereal, kind of almost, right? Like you can tell they're not quite of this world.
Wow. Okay. Does each one of them seem to be guarding a cell?
Nope. So
guarding this corridor.
Yeah, to give you the vibe, like, yeah, so it looks like just a long corridor, and they're just like essentially standing at attention almost. And yeah, if you move in a little further, you get like a vibe that they're just like, they do look like guards, and they do have that like wraithy, floaty vibe, and like little, it's kind of like you're tripping acid for all of us that have tripped acid. And it's like the stuff that is just, it's kind of, their robes are kind of just, like, yeah, smoke and weirdness.
Okay.
So and the amber light lights the place up, as it gets dark outside. It's just fucking weird and creepy.
So I think I say, well, I am no prisoner here. and I walk down the corridor between them, sort of in a very business-like fashion.
Yeah.
Tapping my staff as I walk on the floor.
Yeah. God, I love irrational confidence. It's awesome. Cool. Yeah.
Before Brian, give me a sec. I just gotta grab a jumper.
Yeah, cool.
Back in a sec.
For our American friends, a jumper is a sweater. Paul will laugh at that one when he hears it. It's going to be fine. On the recording, I'm not telling him.
What should I have said? A sweater? A pullover?
See, no, a pullover is a different thing. Usually that's a hoodie, right? A sweater, yeah, as my English friends have always indicated, a jumper. It's like, I don't know what a fucking jumper is. It is a sweater usually, which is fun. It's hilarious how Americans came from the UK and we have such different languages, including how to spell color with an OU.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's been a couple of 100 years, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So I'm walking down in between them.
Yeah.
Having said I'm not a prisoner here.
Yeah. And you as you walk down the hall, it becomes clear there's a big, one of those huge wooden doors, iron, the whole thing. Probably a portcullis even, and like as you're walking down, the portcullis pops open.
Wow.
Clank, clank, clank with the latches, and the door opens a bit. Actually, probably the door in the door. That makes more sense. And out pops a man. You can tell he looks fairly official. And he says, who goes there? Right.
I'll say, I am Hergest, known in some places as the healer. I need to speak to the warden.
Mr. Hergest, is it? My name is Captain Kell. What can I do for you? I don't assume you're turning yourself in. This isn't a...
I am not turning myself in. I wish to talk to someone who I believe is likely to be a prisoner of yours.
He says, we don't really have visiting hours.
Good, then I am not late.
What prisoner were you here to see?
A witch by the name of Kalg.
And what would you want with her? He says, and then
is
annoyed that he said her because he gave it away.
A fell beast has appeared in the woods not far from here. I have reason to believe that the witch Kalg may know how to deal with the threat before it kills anyone.
And as you're speaking, he seems to be looking for a reaction from the jailers, the guards, also known as the jailers.
Oh, okay.
And the jailers do not respond. He says, okay. Tell me about this beast.
Could you repeat this guy's name for me, Brian? What's
Captain
this guy's name
Kell.
again?
Here, I got you. Boom. Captain Kell.
Okay.
He has names.
He does?
He is... Yeah, you get the sense that he believes you, weirdly, because what you just told him is pretty fucking weird, right? But he says, tell me about this beast.
Okay. So Hergest says, not a man, nor fully a beast, but antlered and capable of moving, of retreating and advancing in the strangest fashion. Its bite carries a malady, like madness, which my healing cannot stop.
And he says, and you came alone at night to the prison of Mon.
I think Hergest probably scratches his chin and says, well, who would you have me have brought to this dark place? I'm a visitor at the monastery. I was called to deal with a mystery illness at the logging camp in the forest. My skills are not great enough. I need a user of magic. I need to see the witch named Kalg, and I need to persuade her to help me.
And it's funny because you're talking to him, but he's watching the jailers again.
Yeah. Do I get the sense that they are in some way detecting lies or seeing if I'm truthful?
Yes, you definitely do. Tell me about, and he's going to your friends at the monastery. Who are you there to see? What is your business there?
I am a healer. There is a library there with ancient healing texts. And so I spent one very pleasant afternoon in the company of Sister Alora looking at the books. Before I offered the abbess my services as a visiting healer to the logging community. But this was no ordinary malady, no summer fever or indeed winter ailment, but the result of a bite. Now, this thing needs to be dealt with.
And he looks at you. Describes Sister Laura to me.
A young woman of perhaps 30. She is dressed as a sister in the abbey, so I cannot even tell you the color of her hair. Her skin is fair and pale, her eyes brown. She is a studious woman indeed, skilled in herbalism and healing.
And he had you get a glint of a smile, and he says, "Where did you meet her?"
In the library.
And he probably now lifts the portcullis. He says, "Follow me." And a couple of jailers follow behind you. And you guys pop through the door. He locks it back up. You are now locked in the prison of Mon. Great. And he takes you up like a crazy cool stone stairway, almost like in a spiral fashion. Looks pretty grand, actually. I don't know what this place used to be, but it's pretty. It's like dilapidated, but like it used to be something pretty fancy. It probably was not always
like a palace.
Yeah, it does not seem like it was always a prison. That's for damn sure. And he takes you up these stairs, knocks, come in. And this clearly to you seems like, he lets you in. This is clearly like the main, like an office. You would expect this is the warden. And sure enough, Warden Cloudcroft.
Cloudcroft.
Yep, I'm putting it in text. Warden Cloudcroft. Does the looks at Captain Kell and you, and sees the jailers behind you. It's like, and he looks out the window into the darkness. It's like, we have a visitor, Captain Kell. And Captain Kell will give him like the 50-cent tour of what you were talking about. And he says,
I wait until he's finished. Yeah.
Yeah. And Cloudcroft will he'll just like fidget for a minute, and he's kind of he's like taking the measure of you a little bit, right? And he says, Mr. Hergest, is it?
Just Hergest. Hergest the healer.
I mean, we are a prison. Yes. This is not the kind of prison that usually has visitors. I'm not exactly sure what you're hoping to accomplish here.
I need to convince a user of magic to help me understand a problem so that I can solve it. I understand the witch Kalg is just such a user of magic. I appreciate that this is an unusual place, and I don't doubt that your prisoners are of an unusual cast. I can only imagine how serious their crimes were that they should be imprisoned here, incarcerated here. Just as I can only imagine what rules you broke, be assigned the task of guarding
them. And he laughs at that. It's like, you and me both. And he looks at Kell and he's like, and Kell just he shrugs and he's like, Hergest, quite frankly, I don't know exactly how in my 30 years as warden here, you are the first visitor. And it's like, and you can tell they're both kind of like, I don't know, and he would say, the jailers will be able to protect you because, as you surmise, our inmates are quite peculiar in their talents. But be very careful, because the jailers. I'm trying to decide if I will tell you something. He might tell you. He's right. Like, he's sitting there, like he's doing exactly what I'm doing. Like, And he would say, he would probably say Mr. Hergest again because he's not used to saying just Hergest. Mr. Hergest, do you know what a jailer is? And he points at the two jailers behind you.
So I turn around and have a look at one up and down, and I will say, I would surmise that they are, each of them, some kind of powerful magic, perhaps a summoning, perhaps they were once alive.
Mm. The rune stones around their neck were issued when they arrived here. Death is not the end of your sentence here. Your sentence is over when it's over. If you die here, you become a jailer for the rest of your sentence. We have no end to them, honestly. Like, he doesn't laugh at that, but I am. They're not going to they're not really here for your protection. They're here to do their job. I tell you this, I just want to make sure you understand what you're doing. There are you have no friends here, essentially, is what he's saying.
I will not be long. Either this witch Kalg will offer me the knowledge I require, or she won't. I have no other alternatives as things stand.
And he would say just the sheer craziness of you showing up here. I'm essentially rooting for you now. Like, now I wanted to see how this goes. But if it goes poorly, it goes poorly.
Oh, well, I will not blame you. Of course, if I should even survive, but I am an old man and a traveller. I have taken such risks on very many occasions, perhaps none quite as in places quite as dark as this. I know the risks of travelling, Warden Cloudcroft.
I should hope you do. It'd be a very interesting tale if you had been in a darker place than this. Very well. Captain, show him to the cell. And he takes you and the two jailers behind you. And you go back down the stairs to the main level, and then you go down into the dungeon.
I will confess at some stage to Captain Kell that I don't feel any pity for the inmates here who have doubtless committed terrible crimes, or for the jailers, but I do feel pity for you and for Warden Cloudcroft here without family or relief or comfort. How terrible. Should you suffer from any ailments, and should I have the chance later on, I would be happy to try to comfort you both a little.
That's very nice of you. As you probably could surmise, when we are in need of such things, we send for Sister Alora.
Of course.
Or travel there ourselves. It's not very far. As the crow flies, he might even throw that in there just because it's fun. Yeah, so he takes you down the steps, and you would probably even get the sense that like neither one of them really hates having the company. They're just a little surprised, like, who would fucking come here? Like, that doesn't have to, right? Like, he definitely would not say anything about why he or the warden are here, because that's a private affair.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's exactly what you'd expect. Cells, bars, right? Like, dank, the whole deal. The cells have like a single like torch in them, probably, right? Like very little light, like probably not even a torch, probably candles, right? Like, as you go by each cell, like a lot of people are sleeping or like doing whatever, and you can barely see in the things. And it probably looks a little bit like uh, Claire going down to see Hannibal Lecter kind of vibe, but darker.
Right. Got you. Yeah.
And like, he gets to one cell, he turns to you, and he says, "Now I want everyone to behave." And he looks at you and he says, "Good luck, Mr. Hergest." and walks. Not He doesn't go up the stairs, but he gives you a little bit of privacy. The jailers do not. They're right there with you.
Yep. Okay. So did he unlock the door, or
No. Did you want him?
is it
You have to
unlocked
ask
then?
him. It's like an open. It's just bars.
Oh, okay. So I guess I don't get too close to the bars then, and I just say the witch, who goes by the name of Kalg. Are you there?
And you see her shuffle a little, right? Like, she's probably sitting on a cot, right? Like, probably the classic, chamber pot cot. That's about it. It's a very small room, right? Like, probably she probably does have. Actually, she definitely has a candle, right? Like, and there's probably like one shitty table, just full of dead candles and wax, dripping all over it.
Okay. Hold on. Is she?
What was that?
So I'm moving rooms. I'm moving rooms.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay. Did you hear that noise? That was the fan on my laptop going mad.
Your laptop made out of wood and grass.
Okay. I'm back. Okay. So she shuffles. I see her move around in the darkness.
Yeah. And let me think. She doesn't say anything. She might whisper under her breath, right? Like, but she doesn't say anything.
I say, I have. So how far away from the bars is she on the other side?
This is probably, this is going to be like no more than a 10 by 10 room, right? That would be feet. Sorry, I don't.
3 meters by 3 meters.
Exactly.
Okay. So I say, I have seen a fell being in the forest, the body of a man, and the antlers of a stag. Do you know what it is?
Yes.
How do I cure the malady that its bite carries?
Kill the victims.
Did she just say know the victims?
Kill.
She said kill the victims.
Yep.
Oh.
She's being coy. She's being.
Yeah.
I mean, that would solve the problem.
Well, yes. Help me cure them, and tell me how I will destroy the beast, and I will take any word you give me, and I will speak it in any place you tell me.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
And she walks away from you and like sits down, gives you the vibe, like, because she doesn't talk a lot. I don't know if she has much of a voice left, but she's basically saying like, "What the fuck would I help you for?"
Yeah, well, just that. Is there nothing that you would tell the outside world? That you would have me speak into the trees or speak to the face of someone who imprisoned you? Is there no message that you would send?
She says, I would send it myself.
You cannot. I do not believe for one second that you could even send a message into someone's dream from your cell here. I can carry a word for you into the world.
Not from here.
Not with that attitude, you can't.
So, I think Hergest would have been reluctant to try to appeal to her good side because he wouldn't have believed that she had one. But if I can't buy her with the promise of taking a message for her or some word from her to the outside world, then I think Hengist. I think I resort to this and I say, this is a terrible creature which is abroad. You can do one good thing, and you can help me. And I came here hoping that you would. You will not accept the only thing I can do for you, which is to carry some word from you into the outside world, then accept this offer of some chance to make a difference for the better out there. Help me.
She stands up, she takes a cup. It's like a, shitty old tin cup, starts banging it in between the bars. Bang, 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 bang. And Captain Kell comes and he stands there, crosses his arms, and even in dim light, you can see him roll his eyes. Yes. And she grabs, so she also has a rune, like a stone runestone around her neck, and she pulls it and points at you, and he does another eye roll. It's like, nope. And she bangs the fucking tin cup again.
What does
Bang,
she
bang.
What does she want? What does she want, Captain? What does she want?
She wants you. She wants her freedom. She wants to leave for a bit. She wants I don't know what you would call it. She wants a vacation from here, or a 24-hour pass or something. Hasn't been done in hundreds of years. And you don't want to do it.
No, I suppose I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you want... It is possible, if you were to take on her burden, she could leave with you for a bit.
What does that mean?
If she doesn't come back, you take her sentence, and you do come back. One of you's coming back.
Aha. I see. Well, I have patience, you know. I look at her. I say, I have, you know, families that I help. I would not see you freed into this world. I've given you a very generous offer to make a difference for the better.
And she sits back down.
And I just sat. Yeah, okay. Well,
you thought this was going to be easy.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I'm definitely not doing that though. I don't think. I mean,
I wouldn't.
I see the attraction of that as a possibility, but I don't think Hergest is going to do it because he can't police her. He turns to the captain and he says, I could not control her out there. If I take her alone, then it will be me coming back without her. I presume that she is a magic user of some power, whereas I am not.
That is very true. But while she wears the rune, you'd both be under each other's power, essentially. But yeah, she could. I'm sure there are ways she could overcome you, or you her. I wouldn't do it.
Yes, no, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in this bargain. May I stay here the night? Perhaps the old woman will have a chance to reflect while I sleep.
We don't really. I mean, he's thinking. Fine, you can have one of the guards' quarters. They're slightly better than these.
Yes, a corner.
Mm-hmm.
A corner next to a fire, perhaps.
Yeah, and he would say, like, you know, you get the vibe, like, he would not have you go out into the dark, right, like into this thing at night around here, because, you know, like,
I'm going to try to find out. I'm going to try to find out what Kalg did, and who imprisoned her.
Okay. Well, he would say
if Kalg will tell me, or Cloudcroft.
Oh, Kalg's not saying shit to you for sure. But but the captain is basically saying you can essentially bunk with him, right? Like, in the guards, like there's currently not many guards here, right? Like, so, he's like, hey, you know, but you guys will probably have opportunity to, he would give you guys, you know, you're here at dinner time. Cool.
Mm-hmm. I think Hergest spends the night racking his brains about how to compel a witch to help him. And I would like to suggest that there's a way to compel a witch to help.
Mm-hmm. So I would suggest, right, like Kel takes you back upstairs to the other side, like off the, down from the corner of Warden's office, where you can see at certain times there are other there are enough, there's like half dozen like reasonable rooms up here, much nicer than the cells actually. he was kind of lying, but like the windows and like but yeah, he would have like he would make you like like hope you like yada yada, like whatever it is. It's probably not great, but I'm sure they have he would probably tell you, right, like the monastery is connected to this place. Most people don't know of it, like know what's going on, because we just don't talk about it, because like it's a fucking prison, right? Like security. But the monastery, we get deliveries, so so he's making some sort of stew, right? Probably that sort of thing. And he would also pull out a bottle, and you guys could drink. Like, I think he's as curious about you as you are about your situation.
Yeah.
And he's trying. This is the hospitality he can offer. It's booze and a meal and a cot, right? It's pretty good actually.
Yeah, I don't think Hergest spurns his hospitality and is happy to talk, but Hergest's attention is elsewhere, because I suspect there's a way magically to compel this witch to help. And I might not be able to do it, but I think there comes a moment at some stage, and Hergest has been nursing this drink for a while, and he looks at Kel and he says, "The abbess, does she use magic?"
And he's probably, he's off duty essentially, right? Like, and he's probably had enough. I'm going to say you guys are drinking wine, probably. You can tell he's like a soldier. He likes his cups, right? Like, and he's probably had enough where he's letting his guard down just a hair, because like he doesn't see you as a threat, right? Like, and he would laugh, giggle little. He's like, "No, the abbess does not practice magic."
Are they all like Kalg here?
And he would say, he would ask, "In what way do you mean? Are they all dangerous?" Well, yes.
I offered her what I thought would be valuable to her, to carry some word from this place, even if only to shout it into the forest or to shout it in someone's face. And that didn't interest her at all. She said she could reach the outside world in other ways. Are there any of them here who can be reasoned with, who may have something that they want carried to the outside world, someone they want to talk to, some place they want some words said?
I mean, you can probably imagine everyone in prison, they have one thing that they want.
to leave.
Mm.
Well, that's not happening.
Mm. I don't recommend it.
Well, it seems, Captain.
Well, would you ask him?
That,
would you discuss it? Would you? Because he'd be curious about you too. He'd say, "What the fuck would possibly make you want to come here?"
Well, I told you.
I know what you said. I know what you said, but like, are these people great friends to you? I mean, I'm with you.
That I'm trying to heal. The people that I'm trying to heal.
Yeah.
There is a monster out there, Captain.
Mm.
It could bite. It could bite every one of 100 loggers.
Hergest,
it could attack the abbey.
There are monsters. We're sitting above many monsters.
They are not running around biting people.
No. So if we can catch this one, please, by all means, do and bring it in. We'll lock it up.
Well, my concern is for the people who now carry the malady that the creature's bite transmits, including the man who first tried to heal the victims of the bite.
Mm. And he would give you a stern look, right, and be like, "I'm not trying to be a dick, but the witch's advice was good." What was a solution, right? She was joking, probably, but I'm not.
She knows more than that.
Oh, I'm sure she does.
She knows how to destroy it. She knows how to destroy the creature.
Yes, I'm sure she does. And he would say, as he's pouring in, his third cup, she's in here for a number of reasons, but the main reason, none of us really know exactly how it went down. You never know, especially because she doesn't talk, and there's no jailers in here, but you know that there, and he would he's talking about the jailers because they know when you're lying, and that gives them, I don't know what you would call it, but the essentially permission to punish you. Trust me when I say you don't want that to happen. So most people don't talk much in here. The things I have heard are it involves a dragon. I know that's a lot of fun. I know she was in here for basically healing a dragon that was the scourge of this area for a while up in the mountains. I don't know the details, but I do know that it is, like I said, the prisoners don't talk much in here, but the rumor is that she is able to talk to this dragon through shadow. I don't understand it, but now you know what I know. So no, yes, I believe she could. I have no idea what she's capable of, honestly, but I know that she's not capable of doing it in here.
I don't need her to do it. I just need her to help me do it. Or any of your inmates who may be users of magic who could help me. Otherwise, I need to find a user of magic who isn't in the Prison of Mon, I suppose. Someone in this region who may have their knowledge without their ill will. Do you know of any magic users like that?
I make the trip. Sometimes we take turns. We draw straws. The lucky one gets to go to the monastery. I don't suppose you've heard of the Mad Monk. I know of the Mad Monk.
I have met the Mad Monk.
As have I. He doesn't belong in here, so far as I can tell. But right, like they don't talk, and he's like he pauses himself to like, why should I tell you this? Like, and he kind of doesn't care. You get the sense like he doesn't get a lot of company, and like he's kind of enjoying the conversation and the wine, right? Like, right, the abbess, she knows what's going on here and there. He does a thing where he looks towards down the hall to the warden's office. She sometimes comes here.
To visit the warden?
And he takes a sip of his wine and kind of gives he won't look, not looking in your face, in your eyes, and gives a shrug. But the monastery knows what's going on here. They're part of this place, but they don't talk about it much for obvious reasons. That the children there, he would say that, like, meaning like they're all kids, right? Like they don't need to know this. They don't need to know the boogeyman. And the Mad Monk doesn't seem harmful to me. But they know who he is, right? Like, I don't know who he is, but like they seem to. That's a possibility.
Maybe I would be better talking to him.
Yeah, and he said, I would love to help you. I don't have a way to compel her to do anything except be in a cell and behave. While she's on the grounds, while she's, and he would do run his fingers like wearing the necklace, wearing the runestone. The runestone is for life plus. You've seen that too, right? There's a lot of magic going on here. The jailers can't stray far from the prison either. They're still prisoners. We used to have more people here, but we just don't need them because of them. I'm going to say, let's hope you never understand like what they can do. Because I've seen it, and brother, it ain't pretty. But they can't touch me, and they can't touch the warden, and by proxy, they can touch you though.
Well, I will give them no reason to. Why would I give them a reason to?
I recommend you not. I certainly wouldn't either. But he's like, you have sand, sir. I'll give you that. Coming here is, nobody comes here that doesn't have to. But I can't force any of the prisoners to do something they don't want to do. I mean, of course they're all going to be clamoring for days about like, oh yeah, let me go with the healer.
Yeah, well, none of them are going with me.
Yeah,
and I wasn't.
This would be a memorable trip.
Compel her.
No. I thought you. If I thought you were going to be that crazy, I wouldn't have had you stay the night. and he is laughing now because he's a little bit. Yeah, he's getting a little bit rounded.
Yeah, I think Hergest is will sit with him a while longer. Hergest is wondering if he himself can magically compel this witch to help him.
It's possible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it seems her magical powers are going to be severely limited by the thing she wears around her neck.
Definitely.
So, he will never have done anything at all like that. But I think in the morning he will go and he will try to use the voice on her. He will try to compel her to help him.
Cool.
And you know, whatever the consequences may be, he will stand there on the you know the side of on the outside of the cell door, and he will use the voice.
Are you telling Kel
I
this?
compel you to help me. No.
Are you telling Kel this?
I'm telling him to. No, I'll get him to take me back there in the morning.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, so in the morning, yada yada, right? Like he would, right? Like we can skip, because he would find. He's like, this I have to see. I would not miss this.
No, I'm not telling him anything. I'm not telling him anything. I will sit as he drinks. I might ask him about his health. I'm not, just make small talk, but I will become quieter and quieter as I resolve to try this thing, and then I will go to sleep. And in the morning, I will say, I would see the witch Kalg once again, please.
Yeah, and he would say, he would probably look at you like a long look, and he'd say, yeah, all right. And he would take you down there. You have a couple jailers with you. This time he'll be closer this time. Like he's a cell away, just like, 'cause he wants to see this. Bunnahaven is delicious.
Okay, so I stand there with my staff. I guess Hergest's countenance betrays no sign that his heart is beating fast and that he has no idea whether this will work or not, or what the consequences might be as and when it goes wrong. And he says, he bangs his staff on the floor, and I think he says in an ancient tongue, in whatever the ancient tongue that the oldest medical books are written in, this world's equivalent of Aramaic or ancient Greek or something, and he says, you, witch, maker of pacts with demons, servant of the devil, I compel you to tell me what I would know. I compel you to tell me of the fell beast, and I compel you to tell me of the cure for the malady. I compel you 3 times. You will serve the light. I compel you. You will help me. I compel you. You have no choice. You are compelled. And he bangs the staff again. And he's tried to use the voice on her. So I think that's magic.
I think that's magic too. Do you want to roll?
Yeah.
I don't think there's any
2d6?
Well, yeah,
or a d6.
Let's do 2d6. I don't know what exactly. I think we're testing.
Well, I am a hedge.
Yeah. Are we straight up testing that you can perform magic, or is that understood? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
I think that's true. And I want you to have the 2d6 because I think you have proven that you are on the road to hedge magery, I guess. We didn't give you the name yet, did we?
Yeah. We took it. He took it. I'm a hedge wizard.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Then 2d6. Let's do it.
But I'm perfectly happy for this to be. I'm perfectly happy for this to be the longest of long shots, right?
Yeah, for sure. And we'll see. This is more like, I don't know that there's a.
I'm just hoping I'm hoping she just doesn't blast me down the corridor.
I'm not sure she can. She's kind of a captive audience, right? Like, this is more like, this is more of a test of like, where are you at with your magic, right? Like, and yeah. Ooh. Also, look what I pulled. Direction, control, success. 6 and a 3 is a success.
Wow.
Shit. What would this be? I'm gonna pull it. Oh God. This is where I totally fucking love the tarot, because second card. Second card is, the 5 of Cups. Loss, grief, disappointment.
Oh, great.
Yeah. I can... Ooh, man. I'll just do this now, so you can have a look at the words as well. You compelled her 3 times. I wanted to see what it was.
That one's upside down.
Agreed. You did know that I did reverse cards too.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So what have you learned? What have you learned? More importantly, what have I learned? So
the Chariot is control and success. I think you have successfully controlled her. That we knew that from the 6 and the 3. Yeah, tipped over cups. Like 5 of Cups is not good. Like, that's bad. But we knew that too, right? Like, cool. So I'm not great at reading these tarot cards yet. I'm looking for something in the cards.
Missed opportunities, lack of foresight, and delays.
Yeah. That could be you. One more. Oh, God. Oh, cool. Oh, man. This is fucking awesome. I love the tarot cards. Check this out. Reverse Devil. Release from bondage. Breaking time. Clarity. She's telling you to release her. Tarot cards are dope. So basically, what she's
I did.
Yeah, you are in control of her. She's like, I could fix this for you if you release me. Right?
Yeah.
Because I'm breaking free, clarity. But note, it's the fucking devil. Right? So, like, God, tarot cards are good. So, but she's going to give you a thing. You're 6. And the 3, that's nice, right? Like 6, you're definitely, you're going to get something you want. Like, because that was nice. That was cool. She's going to tell you, like, and she'll say Wendigo, right? The Wendigo is cursed. The Star Woods are an ancient woods, right? Like the curse, right? Like Wendigos are probably created by someone, by cannibalism, and the curse in the wrong place. The Star Woods are an ancient place, right?
So they're hungry spirits.
Yeah, exactly. And like, this is like, yeah, this is like Appalachian shit, right? Like, it's like, this is the dark, seedy belly. The Wendigo is a cursed human, right? Like, he used to be human, now is cursed. She would probably say something. She would be like, where there's a curse, there's probably a mark, right? Like, right, like, you have to find the mark and destroy the mark. Could be an animal, could be a tree, could be a rock, could be a rune. Who's to say? But you got a 6, I would say also. Right, like, Wendigos tend to avoid daylight. Right? She would tell you that.
Yeah.
But she would also, she might even say, like, guess she might even be pulling these cards. I don't know. Because she would also lay this card on you if she's pulling the cards. The Upside Down Fool. And she would probably cackle, like, laughing, and say, "Good luck to you, sir."
Yeah, she's saying I'm reckless fool.
Yep. And indecisive.
Okay. Well, I think kind of I will once the compulsion fades, I will say the last thing I say to her is I will prove you wrong, and I leave. And I thank Kel for his help. And I think there's something a little bit changed about Hergest for a few minutes after he's done that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like someone who's jumped out of a plane, or like someone who's jumped out of a plane or done something and surprised themselves, walked out onto a stage and given a speech, or, you know, performed in public for the first time, or some, you know, he's like the adrenaline is pumping around his body as he leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And
I would say Kel is like, you can see Kel is like like almost amazed at what just happened. Right? Like he's very impressed. He would probably like, grab your shoulder. And he's like, that's I would never expected you could do that. That's the most anyone's ever said here. any prisoners said here in forever.
I did not know I could do it myself, but certainly the prison protected me from what otherwise would doubtless have been some devastating revenge from that woman. I thank you for allowing me to do that. And I will leave you to your dark business. You can tell the abbess that I've been here if you want. It is no secret.
And you can tell the abbess you've been here too.
I have some.
It's fine with me. But he would say, "You're welcome back here, Hergest." Like, not that you would want to come back.
I shake his hand and I'll say, "Well, thank you for the drink and the conversation last night. Look after yourself. I have something to find in the forest." And
he would probably say something like, he would probably say like, "If I didn't have a task to do, I might even join you."
I'll thank him, and I'll thank him for his thoughts, and I shall leave. And I think Hergest is going to try and find the mark, like needle in a haystack fashion. He's going to try and deduce or douse or divine or find Jarell the mad monk and ask. He's going to try and find the place where the curse was made and where the mark is, a rune or a stone or a tree or an animal. Where the terrible thing that made the Wendigo happened. And that's what he's going to do next.
Cool. That was cool. So, hedge mage, huh?
Hedge wizard I got. That's what we decided after the spell, after the healing.
Are we sure it's hedge at this point?
I think, yeah. I think, well, yeah. Because he's got no idea, right?
Yeah, but a hedge mage to me is, what does Whitebread call him? What are the silly spells?
Cheap tricks.
Cheap tricks. That's a hedge mage. You just did some magic.
Yeah, but here's my counter argument. I get that, right? Counter argument is I think hedge magery is also like magical use of plants and country magic and folklore. Yeah, which I think he has. But also I don't think that I don't think he knows what he's capable of, and like that could have gone badly wrong. But what we could do is what they do in names is they have like the magical name and then they have some words around it that give it. They're like the words are like the realms of the things that he can do. So
I would say, right. So in my mind, like she was already kind of bound, right? Like,
yeah,
she is,
which is why presumably she could have, because normally speaking, she's really powerful and I'm not, right?
Correct. I can't remember what Five of Cups is. dejection,
Missed opportunities.
sorrow over the past events, missed opportunities. And so, like, yeah, the missed opportunities might have been to kill it, right? Like, so I don't, we're just like riffing on the tarot cards, like one would. Missed opportunities was I can't even remember what number was that. That's 3 of Wands.
Yeah. It sounded to me like.
Yeah, go ahead. What did it sound like?
I was going to say, it sounded to me like what she had to say to me would be really disappointing to Hergest. Like, you can't deal with this, you can't cure it, you can't kill it. But the one positive solution that came out of all of that, other than freeing her, was the mark.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we already know that Hergest has this kind of unreasonable confidence, right?
Yep.
So we know that Mark could be anything, but it's in the woods. And we know that, this is one of the reasons why I'm happy for Hergest to be a hedge. For Hergest to be a hedge wizard, because he's going to go into the wilds and literally look for this needle in a haystack, right?
Well, and and there's the name that comes to my mind is irrational confidence. You have there's no reason you should be that confident in your ability, but that's why you're able to do that magic, right? Like, I think that's pretty cool. But like, we don't need to add a name. Like, this isn't necessarily that, right? Like, but
yeah, sure. I mean,
Hergest
we know that
he's definitely irrationally confident. You keep proving that. I liked how you just walked the gauntlet of the jailers. That's super fun.
Yeah, I mean, in part, I think that's because I see him as quite obstinate, and his age means that he feels like he doesn't have a lot to lose.
Yeah.
I've added weirdly confidence to his notes. But I think it's, and in part it's because I'm trying to drive him a bit like a stolen car, right?
Yeah. Irrationally, not weirdly. I would not say weirdly confident. I would say irrationally confident. Like,
but the problem with me using irrational is if someone said to him, Hergest, you are irrationally confident, he would say, I am the most rational person I know.
That's probably true.
Do not call me irrational.
Well, confident is good enough then. Yeah. Because I think that's cool.
Cool.
So like,
yeah. So
how did that vibe? Because I know you wanted me to give you something, but I was like, I was pulling nose, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know that anyone else is going to give you anything. Like, I wanted to give you a choice, right? You had a hard choice.
You did.
And I liked where you went with
I wasn't. Yeah, I was definitely not going to get into the situation where I took her out on parole. But I think there's.
I would have loved that.
There's a. Yeah, of course. There's a. There's a quest here there's a quest here to overcome the curse of the Wendigo, to find the place where the terrible thing happened, the cannibalism or whatever, where the mark is, and destroy the mark. And that will clear everything up. I mean, I guess. So that.
Well, we'll see.
So the nose. So yeah. But that's what Hergest would believe. So
sure.
The nose. So the nose, it weren't an end. They were just as you said, a hard choice and another way around. And so that's all good. And I think that's fine. I wasn't expecting it to be easy or all to be simple. And so, yeah, all good. Yeah. Really interesting stuff.
I thought it was cool. I really like the tarot cards as far as like, because I didn't have a specific thing necessarily. Like, I had ideas. I do like the idea of the mark. I knew, like, I did think about like why the Wendigo was there. And you got the information out of her because fucking cool roll, right? Like that was dope. I mean, it's not a big bang like, ooh, I blew up a fucking witch with a fireball kind of bullshit, right? Which I think is lame, and I think that was really cool. And I do like.
Well, as long as you're happy. I mean, as long. Yeah. I mean, he's definitely.
Well, I mean, did you
definitely,
like it? Did you think it was cool?
Yeah. No, absolutely. But he's definitely what in another game, in the world's most popular role playing game, would be called a low level magic user, and
Yeah.
I think that's good. That works. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say you just compelled a very powerful witch. Possibly, like Hergest might not think of it in this way, but like she was basically like grappled, to use another term from the world's craziest, zaniest role-playing game. And so like I would have probably leaned into that anyway. But man, 6 and a 3 was good. So that was super cool. And I thought it was awesome. Cool. I thought, I think, right, like she probably would have been able to do this herself. She probably would have known just to go find, and that's probably what she would have led you to do. Like, especially if, right, like in taking on her sentence, you probably would have been able to like give her some, give some indication of what she has to accomplish, and that probably would have bound her as well. And she probably would have done that for you, right? Like taking you to the mark, or found the mark. She didn't know where it is, but like she could have probably found it.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting about it is that I was talking about divining earlier, so I'd be happy to test that next time, which would give you all kinds of interesting opportunities if it's not perfect or it goes horribly wrong, right? And it's also quite good hex crawl stuff, because I'm just going to search the woods until I find it now. Yeah,
totally. And I really liked the Rando was helping out a lot in this one. That was cool.
Right,
the first one we've done with Rando, so that was fun. So cool.